Hey everybody, Madmuk here from Madmuk's Gameroom, and welcome back to another episode of Games of Boredom. I'm joined by my sister, Jenn.
Hi.
And we are going to be playing whatever is in this. Can you take a guess?
Can I open it?
Can you take a guess?
Ping pong?
Okay, we're playing ping pong. I will tell you now, it has been, I'm not even kidding, maybe a decade and a half since I challenged her to one of these. Pokemon, the trading card game.
Yes.
It has been a very long time since.
So you clearly remember I always win, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But you see, I've been travelling around all the countries and
Whatever
honing my
excuses
skills.
you can come up with, that's fine.
Alright, so I have got 6 decks here that I have prepared myself. Each of them is a different type. And 2 pre-made decks that come pre-packaged. We've got a water deck, a thunder deck, psychic, fire, thank you, rock and ground, grass, and poison. I think this is psychic and darkness, and water, and ice.
I'll take psychic and darkness.
You will take psychic and darkness. Okay, so
cool.
that. Okay, she chose that. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to get you to pick my deck, which is what.
You can have that one. No, that one.
Okay. Okay.
I have a feeling I made a very bad decision.
Thinking on the fly there. I could have had a deck that won, but no. Changed your mind, nick of time. And
I panicked.
okay, so on to the rules of Pokemon trading card game. Okay, so the Pokemon trading card game is a game between 2 people who take turns performing a number of tasks to defeat 6 of their opponent's Pokemon and ultimately win the game. Now let's get into how we play this. Now you will need a few things to play this game. First and foremost, you will need a deck of cards. Pokemon cards, obviously. 60 of them. 60. You will need at least 1 coin to flip heads or tails. You will need a token to indicate the status effect of poison. Another token to indicate the status effect of burned. You will also need a number of tokens to indicate accumulated damage on your Pokemon. Now with all that, you should be able to play a game of Pokemon trading cards. Now there are 3 different types of Pokemon cards in the Pokemon trading card game. The first is the Pokémon cards. Now these cards come in a massive variety of different Pokemon, obviously because there are just heaps of them now. Back when I started was the original 151. So I'm going to be explaining with one of the 151 types of Pokemon. So we have got 3 Pokemon here. Each is an evolution of the other. Well, Haunter's an evolution of Ghastly. You know, if you don't know Pokemon, go check it out. You'll understand. So, continuing on to the card game. This is the bread and butter. Alright, this is the basic Pokemon card. You'll see on the top corner there, basic, shows that he is obviously a basic Pokemon. Shows his name, Ghastly. Shows his HP, which is his health points, how much damage he can take. And the symbol showing his type. And this is Ghost and Psychic. Down the bottom here, just under his picture, awesome little picture, has just a bunch of flavor text, his height and all that kind of stuff. Then you have his attack. Now on the side of his attack you'll see another little symbol here. This is the amount of energy that he needs to perform this task, and that is 1 psychic energy. We will get to that. The name of the attack, Sleep Poison. The effect the attack has, and you'll see here it says flip a coin. This is why you need coins. Down here you will see he has a weakness against dark type Pokemon. So if a dark type Pokemon does damage to him, he multiplies it by 2 and then takes that amount of damage. So rather destroying. And he has a resistance to ground and fighting type Pokemon. So if they do damage to him, he subtracts 20 from it. And just below that you will see a retreat cost. A retreat cost is the number of energy cards you need to discard from this Pokemon before you can switch it with a Pokemon on your bench. So that is the basic Pokemon card, and that's the gist of it. Now you can see Ghastly only has an HP of 50, doesn't do much damage, so in order to make him do a lot more damage, what we can do is we can evolve him to a stage 1 Pokemon. And this is Haunter. Haunter has got pretty much the same makeup on his card. The only things that would differ is pretty much everything. So you will see the stage 1, it shows that he is a stage 1 Pokemon. It shows what basic Pokemon he has evolved from. It also shows his HP and type. Now down here it shows he has an ability, and we'll get into that later on. He also has an attack down here, and he needs 1 psychic energy, at least 1 psychic energy, and 1 colorless energy. Usually when a colorless energy is on an attack cost, it can be filled with any type of energy card. He also has the weakness and resistance, and also has 1 retreat cost. Ugh. So that's Haunter, and you can evolve him again into this beast. This is Gengar. Now Gengar is a stage 2 Pokemon, shows what stage Pokemon he has evolved from, also has attacks, resistance, and not much difference except he has got massive amount of health. And those are the 3 basic types of Pokemon that we're going to be using in this game. There are different types like X Pokemon, Mega, and all that kind of stuff. But we're just going to stick to the basics for this game. Now let's take a look at that ability on Haunter. Right, now abilities can be used as many times as you want during your turn. Usually it's an ability that's before you attack. It will say it on there, before you attack. This one is if you evolve Ghastly with Haunter, you can leave both defending Pokemon, which is your Pokemon, which would be Haunter, plus your opponent's defending Pokemon confused, which can hinder you sometimes. So yeah, that's the ability that Haunter would have. Now let's go on to the second type of Pokemon card that we will be using in this game. An energy card. Now this is a darkness energy card, big darkness symbol there. There are, I think, 11 types, 11 different types so far. I may be wrong and maybe more. But as far as I know, there's 11 of them. So there's a darkness one and the psychic one. So that's what 2 different energy cards look like. So very simple cards. Now those are the basic energy cards. Okay, so they're just very simple, very basic. They cost 1 energy. Now this is a special energy card. It's an old school one from one of my original decks. And this is a double colorless energy. Now this does not count as any specific type. This will only count as colorless energy. And as you can see down the bottom here, it says double colorless energy, provides 2 colorless energy, does not count as a basic energy card. So that's going to be in my deck, I hope. So yeah, that's energy cards. Very simple, very like nothing majorly complicated about those. So that's energy cards. And the last type of card is the trainer card. Now trainer cards come in, as far as I know, again, as far as I know, 3 different types. We're only going to be using 2 types in this game. The basic type, which is an item card, and very, very simple. It says item in the corner there, has a picture of it, it tells you what the name is, and it tells you what the effect is. And these can be used as many times as you want during your turn, and they're usually rather helpful. Now the other type of trainer card is the supporter card, which we will be using in this game. And it says in red writing over there, that is a supporter card. This is Wally, and it has an effect. Now on the bottom here it does say, let me just take a quick look there, you may only play 1 supporter card during your turn. So only 1 of these per turn. Now they're usually pretty helpful, they're actually really helpful. So those are the 2 trainer card types that we're going to be using in this game. So now let's get on to how we play this game. Alright, so now let's take a look at how we set up the beginning of a game. Now you have your deck of shuffled cards, so that's your draw pile, and how you start is you draw 7 cards. Let's see if I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah! 7 cards. That was lucky. So you draw 7 cards, and that is going to be your hand. And then you draw another 6 cards. Let's see if I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah! What are the odds, right? And these 6 cards, where am I going to put those? I will put those over here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we'll just have those 6 cards over there. Let's see if I can zoom this out a bit. No, wrong way. Nope, not very much. Okay, so we're going to have those 6 cards just over there, just out of the way, and those are going to be your prize cards. So every time you defeat your opponent's Pokemon, you draw a prize card. And when you've drawn your last prize card, you win the game. So to start the game, when you draw your 7 cards, you take a look in your hand and see if you've got a basic Pokemon. Now you need this basic Pokemon to start the turn. If you do not have a basic Pokemon, I can't remember what the rules say to do, but what I've always done is I've shuffled my hand back into the deck and then drawn another 6 cards until I have another 7 cards, sorry, until I have got a basic at least one basic Pokemon in my hand. So when you've got your basic Pokemon, what you do is you need to choose a basic Pokemon from your hand, place it there, right there towards your opponent, and this is going to be your defending Pokemon. This is going to be the one that is going to be taking the damage, is going to be giving the damage, and is going to be your main concentration. Now you also have a bench where you can have up to 5 other basic Pokemon. Well, you start off with basic Pokemon, and you can put those down face down to start off with. Then what you do is you flip a coin, and the person who wins the coin toss gets to choose who goes first. Once that is chosen, then both you and your opponent flip your base Pokemon, your bench Pokemon, sorry, and your defending Pokemon at the same time. And then from here, the person who goes first begins their turn. Now let's take a look at how these turns are constructed. Alright, so we've flipped the coin and whoever won it has chosen you to go first. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw a card first and foremost. So this is the first turn. Alright, so you draw a card, and what you can do during your turn now is you can choose to put any basic Pokemon from your hand onto your bench. Now you can put up to 5 basic Pokemon on your bench, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just that. I will put a basic Pokemon on my bench. Now the main purpose of your bench is to, you know, prepare your benched Pokemon for attacking, so to replace with Ghastly. Another thing you can do during your turn is place an energy card. You can only place one energy card on one Pokemon per turn, unless you have a supporter card that says, or a trainer card that says otherwise. But generally just one energy card onto one Pokemon per turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just that. I will put an energy card onto Ghastly, just like that. You can put an energy card onto any one of your Pokemon in play. So Pokemon that are in play are Pokemon that are on your bench and Pokemon that are defending. So with that, you can, so what have I covered? You can put Pokemon on the bench, you can put energy cards on any Pokemon. You can also evolve any one of your active Pokemon. So what I can do now is I can evolve Ghastly into Haunter. And he is super badass, and when it says here, when you play this Pokemon from your hand and evolve Ghastly, you can leave both defending Pokemon confused. So I can choose to do that, and I'm not going to do that because there's no point. Now, evolving Pokemon, you can evolve as many of your active Pokemon as you want during your turn. So if I really wanted to, I can also evolve Haunter again into Gengar and be absolutely badass. And what I can also do during my turn is I can play a item card, a trainer card. This is a supporter card which says you can draw 3 cards. So what I'll do is I will draw 3 cards. Boom. And by the looks of things, I have got another trainer card. So playing a supporter card that has already been played, what I suggest doing when you play a supporter card is you leave it in play like that to remind you that yes, you have played a supporter card. This is particularly helpful when you have got quite a big turn, so you've got a lot of things you're doing during your turn. So what I can also do now is I can play a trainer card, another one which is an item card, and that one says I can switch one of my bench Pokemon with my active Pokemon, and that, because of this one, you can switch it for free, so you do not have to pay the retreat cost. Gengar doesn't have a retreat cost, but that doesn't matter, so you don't have to pay the retreat cost to switch your active Pokemon with a benched Pokemon. Now, yeah, when your Pokemon switches from active to your bench, all damage counters or status counters, everything, energy cards go with it. Okay, so once I have switched my Pokemon, I have used the switch card, and this will go to my discard pile. So this will be a bunch of cards that have been used and go to your discard pile. Your discard pile is actually quite useful sometimes because You do get some trainer cards that will allow you to draw cards or find cards that are in your discard pile and put them back in your hand, which is very, very useful. So to end my turn, if I had an energy card on Noibat, I could use Bolt and it would do 10 damage to the defending Pokemon and would heal 10 damage for Noibat. But I don't have any on Noibat, so I can't actually attack, and there's no real point. So to end my turn, I would simply just discard that card and I would hand over this turn to my opponent. Now there are several status effects that will eventually affect your Pokemon, and there are different ways to show what effect is on these Pokemon. Obviously, you will have the poison counter to show that your Pokemon is poisoned. You will have a burn counter to show that your Pokemon is burned. There is also sleep, where you turn your Pokemon card anti-clockwise, and that will show that your Pokemon is asleep. Now for confused, which is the more relevant one, is just straight upside down, because you are just all upside down when you're confused. So very simple. Confused is upside down. Now for paralyzed, your poor Pokemon is paralyzed. You turn him clockwise, and that will show that he is paralyzed. Now you can have several different effects on a Pokemon at the same time. I suggest looking at the rules to determine how you would show that. Now to remove certain effects from Pokemon, again, I'm not going to go into too much detail in all of that, because I just want to give the gist of the game so that you will understand while Jen and I play the game. So hopefully this has helped you on knowing how to play the game. Sorry, I'm not very detailed, I'm not very good at it. But hopefully this has given you enough understanding to enjoy our bout. Now, will I beat my sister in this game? I do not know. Let's find out.